What is going on, you guys? It is your boy Matt Talk Sports. I am back with another video, and I am back predicting and breaking down a full NFL slate. This time we are in week 6, and this time we are recapping the Thursday night football game that was absolutely shocking. First of all, I know Kurt Perstreet and Al Michaels are feeling great. One, because there's been a lot of upsets for Thursday night, and two, there's been a lot of great Thursday night football games this year. So shout out to them because compared to the last 2 years, all of the Thursday night football games were horrible. This year, every single game has been great, and there's been upsets. So what we just witnessed is maybe a start to a disastrous season for the Eagles. And if you weren't pressing the alarm yet, as an Eagles fan or just as a person who consumes the NFL, you pressed it tonight watching the Eagles perform tonight because the Eagles not only lose, they get dominated, blown out by the New York Giants in MetLife, 34-17. And my goodness, the Eagles stink. They might be bad. That defense looked bad tonight. The offense continues to give these weird performances. Saquon Barkley might be washed, and I don't want to say that yet because I love Saquon. He's coming off a 2,000-yard season, but my goodness, does he not look the same? The O-line is banged up. O-line doesn't look the same. It's still really great in the pass protection, but the run blocking is atrocious. Jalen Hurts, if you still have Jalen Hurts in your top 5 QB rankings, maybe even the top 10, you are just watching a different sport than I am because that guy is not a good thrower of the ball. And even his wide receivers realize that, aka A.J. Brown, aka Devontae Smith. The Eagles need to fire their OC. Their OC might be a full on terrorist. He might be hand in hand with Al Qaeda. Like, that man is a horrible OC. The play calling, the creativity, they are such a predictable offense. They ran 4 straight tush push plays tonight. Crazy. And then they went on to lose the game. But they have some really creative plays with Goddard in the red zone, but that's about it. That's where the creativity stops. The creativity with this offense is really bad. It's really alarming, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. Jalen Hurts is a bad, bad quarterback, and he's lucky that he's not only been to 2 Super Bowls, but he's won one. He won one against Pat Mahomes, and yes, he played good in that Super Bowl. Honestly, he's played good in 2 Super Bowls, but I've never seen a quarterback be so underwhelming with the weapons he has. You have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goddard, Saquon Barkley, and you're still underwhelming as a quarterback? And people are saying, oh, you don't understand. You look at his stat line, he had like a decent game. He had a horrible pick thrown to Jahan Dotson where A.J. Brown was clearly open going over the middle. Listen, I'm not QB quarterback coaching here. I'm not like QB couching right now, whatever the fuck that term is. I forget at the moment, but dude, Jalen Hurts remains desperately unimpressive and underwhelming. Listen, he's won a Super Bowl. He did that, but if you consider this guy a good or a great quarterback, you're watching a different sport than I am. The Eagles are officially worried. They remind me of the Eagles team 2 years ago, the year before they won the Super Bowl, where they started off 10-1, and it all started to go downhill after they beat the Bills in Philly in the game they shouldn't have won, and they were panicking. That team was panicking. They were talking about how something doesn't feel right despite we're 10-1, and they started to fail desperately as the season concluded, and they got blown out by the Tampa Bay Bucks in Tampa Bay. And this season feels eerily similar to that season, except they're imploding way earlier. So maybe they can figure it out somehow. I don't see it, especially if they have the OC. And you have to ask yourself, are they going to trade A.J. Brown? Because it certainly feels like it. How can you not trade A.J. Brown? One, he doesn't want to be there. You can tell by his body language and his movement. And two, fucking give him to the Buffalo Bills. No, seriously. And three, clearly he doesn't like Jalen Hurts. I mean, the subliminals and the way he talks about Jalen Hurts is just not the same. Something happened there, or he just thinks Jalen Hurts is a bad quarterback, which I'm thinking he might think the latter. Anyway, the Eagles lose and get dominated by the Giants. If you're a Giants fan, you are happy. Yes, you are 2-4. Yes, you're not going to make the playoffs. But this is what you want to see out of your young players. Scottaboo looks really good. He looks like he's going to be in the NFL for a while, as long as his head's working. That man is a bulldozer. 3 touchdowns tonight. Jackson Dart, coming off a rough game, bounces back like you want to see a rookie do. Bounces back throughout that last game and he showed out and impressed tonight. Looked really good in the pocket. His the way he was able to improv, the way he was able to escape the pocket and make something out of nothing with his legs, it's really special. He made some really good throws tonight. This dude is throwing to, no disrespect, to Wandale Robinson, who looked really good tonight. Um, little Jordan Humphrey, Jalen Hyatt, Theo Johnson, Bellinger. Like, he's throwing to those guys. Malik Neighbors is injured for the rest of the year. He's gone. He might be gone for half of next year. So the way he's able to make these plays with the limited weapons he has is impressive. And if you're a Giants fan, you are hopeful. And Brian Dable saved your job for another year, I think. I don't think he gets fired after this result for the rest of the season because you can build something off of this win for this year and next year. And man, listen, Dable is a really good OC. He's a good offensive coach, and he clearly knows how to make a young quarterback into a great quarterback, like he did with Josh Allen. Josh Allen is an anomaly. I don't think Jackson Dart is even close or will ever get close to Josh Allen because no one ever will, in my opinion. But hey, if you're a Giants fan, you are fucking hyped and hopeful for the future, which you might have not been last week against the loss against the Saints, which is not a bad loss because as we get more into this week 6, I think the Saints will upset the Patriots this week, but we'll get into that. But the Eagles, you are pressing the alarm now. Pressing the alarm. I don't know who they got next week. I think it's a tough game, but man, the Eagles are in trouble. They are in trouble. The Commanders are going to win that division, and holy shit, you might have to watch out for the Cowboys. It really depends how the Cowboys look against the Panthers, but man, man, oh man, that is going to be interesting because the Cowboys look great on offense, and they don't have CeeDee Lamb right now, and they are over exceeding on defense. So hey now, watch out if you are an Eagles fan because yeah, you're probably gonna make the playoffs, and shit, you might be able to turn around because you have a lot of special players on your team, but the body language of this team, how they're walking off the field tonight, it felt like they were done and ready for the season to be over. And we are in week 6. And their schedule is not as nice as you think it is. They got some rough fucking teams on their schedule. Luckily, they were able to sneak out some miracle wins earlier this year. The Rams, the Bucks, a couple others. Like, there are a couple plays from being like 2-4. Luckily, they're 4-2. So, Giants beat the Eagles in MetLife, and Jackson Dart, Brian Dable, and Scadaboo get very important wins. And honestly, for the first time, I think it has to do more so with the offense of the Eagles being incompetent, incoherent, inconsistent, and straight up negligible. The defense on the Giants looked good for the first time all year. So that's something to work on and be happy about. Brian Burns continues to be one of the best defensive players in the league. Abdul Carter continues to impress. Kayvon Thibodeau continues to redeem himself. Paulson Adebo, like they got some good Javon Holland had some really good plays tonight. Hey man, the Giants, they're not gonna make the playoffs this year, but the future is bright in MetLife in New Jersey. So shout out to Giants fans everywhere. And Philly, I can't name a worse night for Philly fans. The Flyers lost. The Philadelphia Phillies lost in a heartbreaking way in one of the worst plays in baseball. And then the Eagles get blown out by seemingly one of the worst teams in the NFL. The Giants weren't one of the worst teams in the NFL tonight, I'll tell you that much. So let's get into the week 6 slate of the NFL. Cherish these weeks. These weeks are going by quick, man. They're going by super quick. We're in week 6. We're in October. This is when meaningful football starts getting played. After week 6, after week 7, whatever your record is most likely the team you are. So buckle up if you're a fan of any of these teams in the NFL. So we got some fun fucking games this week. Let's get into it. We got a packed slate here. All right, let's start with the 9:30 game. We're going back to London, and my God, how many fucking overseas games do we have this year? Listen, I love extra football. I love waking up early on a Sunday to watch football earlier, but this game, I'd be lying if I said I was excited for it. Broncos coming off a big win against the Eagles, which might not be that big of a win now since the Giants just beat them, versus maybe the most dead team in the NFL, the New York Jets. Um, this Jets team is horrible, horrific. I had someone try to tell me Justin Fields is actually good. Shut the fuck up. Justin Fields is horrible, atrocious, a bottom five quarterback in the NFL. His stats might look good. Those are stats that he's building up in blowouts. That guy is not good. He's honestly quite bad. And honestly, he should never be a starting quarterback again. So anyone who's saying it's not his fault, fucking stop looking at a graph. Stop looking at a fucking chart. Use your eyes to watch the football game, guys. I mean, fuck. Sometimes stats and charts and graphs are helpful when you're applying it and coinciding it with what you see with your eyes, not when you're just watching the stat sheet, watching and looking at the graph and chart. No, no, no. You watch what you see with your eyes, and then you look at the charts and the graphs to see if it matches up. Because sometimes, listen, some people say numbers don't lie. No, no, no. Sometimes numbers lies, and sometimes graphs and charts lie. Because there are some graphs and charts out there that will try to tell you Justin Fields is a good quarterback. That man is not. So, listen, I think the Broncos beat the shit out of the Jets this week. They're minus 7.5. Listen, could there be a backdoor cover? Because the Jets play their best ball when they're down. So, could the Broncos be up 17 or 14 with 5 minutes left and somehow the fucking Jets score a touchdown to cover? Possible, because they're plus 7.5. But I'm minus 7.5. I think Cortland Sutton gets in the end zone. I think J.K. Dobbins gets in the end zone, and you might even see Bo Nix get in the end zone. Honestly, you might even want to parlay Bo Nix and Justin Fields off the wake up Sunday morning, because I've been loving these QB parlay bets recently because I cashed Jalen Hurts and Jackson Dart this tonight, and it was awesome. It was sweat free. So Broncos minus 7.5. Don't overthink it. If you're taking plus 7.5 New York Jets, you are a sick fuck. You are a sick fuck because that team is horrible. I like Brees Hall. He looks like he doesn't want to be there. And Garrett Wilson, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, they don't start involving him until it's way too late, until it doesn't matter. So Broncos will blow out the Jets. If they don't, it's shocking to me. The Cleveland Browns are heading to the Pittsburgh Steelers, Heinz Field. The Steelers are minus 5.5. Dylan Gabriel starting against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm just not picking a team who has a rookie QB starting against a Mike Tomlin team. I just can't do it. I'm not going to do it. I will never do it. And as much as I've had my qualms with Mike Tomlin, as much as I've said his seat was getting warm over these past couple of years, he is a good head coach. And he's probably a great head coach against rookie quarterbacks. And he's going to fuck with Dylan Gabriel this weekend. And the Steelers are win. And am I going to be confident betting minus 5.5? No, but that's my side I'm leaning towards because minus 5.5 against a Cleveland Browns offense that just lost to the Vikings offense, which, listen, the Vikings offense is more talented than the Steelers offense. They have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Jordan Mason, but their quarterback was Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz was able to put up 21 points on this Cleveland Browns defense. Granted, the Cleveland Browns traveled all the way to London, but I am really buying in here on the Steelers. I gave up on them in that Dublin game because they frustrated me the weeks prior. I didn't believe. I still don't really believe, but they are a better team than the Browns, and I think the Steelers win this game. I think DK Metcalf and that offense is good enough. I think Aaron Rodgers is quietly playing some really good football, and honestly, the defense and this whole entire team has been resting for a week. The Browns have not. They're coming off a trip from London to play the Pittsburgh Steelers in Heinz Field. So I have to take the Steelers here. I have to take minus 5.5. And I just have to trust Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin over Kevin Stefanski and Dylan Gabriel because what person would trust otherwise? So give me Aaron Rodgers. Give me Mike Tomlin. Give me DK Metcalf. Give me Calvin Austin. Give me Roman Wilson. Give me Pat Freiermuth. Give me TJ Watt. Give me Jalen Ramsey. You get the gist. I think this Cleveland Browns team scores less than 7 points this Sunday. And I think the Steelers dominate and win this game. It's probably going to be low scoring, but I think DK probably... This Cleveland Browns defense is really good. So I can't say it's going to be completely disastrous for this Browns team, but ultimately Dylan Gabriel, yes, he impressed me in some spots last week, but ultimately he looked like a rookie in the third and fourth quarter of that game against the Vikings. So I think the Steelers defense continues to ride this hot streak they were on in their previous game. And also, I think the bye week here heavily benefits the Steelers, especially when the team they're playing is coming from a London trip last weekend. So give me the Steelers -5.5 here. Moving on. The Chargers are on a 2-game losing streak after starting 3-0. Their O line is banged up. Omarion Hampton is on their IR. They still have Lad McConkey. They still have Quentin Johnson. They still have Keenan Allen. Their tight end room is a mess right now. Tyler Conklin has been a no-show this entire year. And then you got the Dolphins coming off a fucking loss to the Panthers after being up 17-0. The Dolphins are 1-4. The Dolphins' only win this year is against the Jets, and I have to think I have to choose Jim Harbaugh over Mike McDaniel at this point. That was a devastating loss last week. The Panthers ran for 205 yards or something with Rico Dowdle last week. Um, I mean, parts of me wants to take the Miami Dolphins here, but I just can't. How can any bone or 100% of my brain take the fucking Dolphins here? Their only win is against the Jets. They just blew a 17-0 lead against the Panthers, and I just can't take the fucking Dolphins. As much as I think their offense is probably slightly better than the Chargers right now, due to them having Devon Achane, due to them having Jalen Waddle, due to them having like Malik Washington, Akine, Darren Waller. I just have to take Justin Herbert and John Harbaugh over Tua Tagovailoa and Mike McDaniel. I think the Dolphins are a shit show. Their only win is against the Jets, and I have to take the Chargers here. As chalky as that might seem, as trappy as that might seem, I'm taking the better coach. I'm taking the better quarterback, and I'm taking a team who's probably pissed going on a 2-game losing streak after starting 3-0. Give me Jim Harbaugh. Give me Justin Herbert. I'm taking them over fucking Tua Tagovailoa and Mike McDaniel. They get back in the win column, and they end their losing streak. Miami continues to be depressed, and so do their Miami fans. So this might be the last game for Mike McDaniel. It's a big home game, so he might be throwing the fucking bomb at this Chargers team. But even if he throws the bomb, it's somehow not going to detonate. So give me the Chargers here. Give me the better coach. Give me the better QB, and give me the better defense. Moving on. This is getting very chalky so far, but listen, sometimes you got to be chalky to get wins. LA Rams heading into Baltimore to face the Ravens. The Rams are -7.5. Cooper Rush is in at quarterback. No Lamar Jackson this week. The Rams are healthy. They got all their boys playing for them. The Ravens defense is the opposite of healthy. The O-line doesn't look good. Derrick Henry doesn't look the same. Who is fucking betting +7.5 Ravens? If you are, you're a sick fuck. And if it wins, shout out to you because you saw something that I didn't. And I think a lot of people don't. Give me the Rams here. Listen, the Rams have been a little bit disappointing defensively this year. It's not like I expected much on defense. I just expected a better coach defense, but I could see the Ravens causing some problems with like Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Derrick Henry, but at the same time, I'm not fucking taking Cooper Rush. How could you? How could you? And Derrick Henry doesn't look the same, so I don't think the run game is going to be that big of a problem for the Rams. Give me Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nakua. No. Give me Devontae Adams, Puka Nakua, Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, Matt Stafford, Tyler Higbee and the boys, Kobe Parkinson, Sean McVay. How is this offense not going to put up 35 plus on this Ravens defense? If they don't, the Ravens, something happened. And also, this is a big game for the Ravens because if they somehow win this game and they're getting Lamar back, that's a big thing for them, and they feel a lot better about themselves going 2-4 instead of 1-5, which I predict they're gonna go. So Matt Stafford, Puka Nakua, Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams, just don't turn over the ball this week. I mean, just don't. And Sean McVay, rely more on Matthew Stafford, okay? Because you need to, instead of fucking wasting your time with Kyron Williams in a big spot like you did last week. So Matthew Stafford, Puka Nakua, and Devontae Adams and Kyron Williams are going to have a field day with this defense because this Ravens team is dead. It is just dead right now. And I don't see how they come back to life unless Lamar comes back sooner rather than later. So this is a no-brainer. Rams -7.5 against the Baltimore Ravens. Rams went outright. Rams dominate the Ravens most likely, unless something happened this week with the Ravens that I don't know about and the world doesn't know about. Moving on. Uh-oh. This is my first upset of the day, and it's a team that I'm starting to love. The New England Patriots are going in to New Orleans. They're playing in the Dome. They're minus 3.5 against the Saints. The Patriots just beat the Bills. They must be great. They must be great. They must be one of the better teams in the NFL. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, right? I mean, they should go into New Orleans, go into the Dome, and beat Spencer Rattler. I mean, come on. That should happen, right? And listen, I hate the Patriots. I do. I think this is an extreme letdown spot for the Patriots. I think the Saints team is way better than people think they are. I think Spencer Rattler is way better than people think he is. I think this offensive team is way more layered than people think it is. The offensive line isn't bad. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Jawan Johnson, Kendre Miller, Alvin Kamara. This is a good offense. Then you go to that defense. They got some good players that are still playing hard out there. They aren't giving up. And I actually like what Kellen Moore and, dare I say, Brandon Staley are doing coaching this team. The defensive line the New Orleans Saints have isn't getting enough love. Carl Granderson, Cameron Jordan. And then they got some really veteran type leaders on this defense. Justin Reed, Demario Davis. This is a fucking decent team. And I went into the season thinking this is not a good team. And plus, they got Tyson Hill back, by the way, who is this a gadgety motherfucker who will cause problems for a lot of defenses, whether you like him or not. Um, the Patriots are coming off seemingly their Super Bowl win. I mean, just how the Patriots celebrated in the locker room, just how they've been talking shit about the Bills after beating them. They won their Super Bowl last week. I think they're lost in the sauce, and I think the Saints win this game outright. If not cover, at least they'll cover this game. If not win outright, and I predict them to win outright. I think Rattler, someone who just won their first game in their NFL career, who's won 11, he goes to 2-11 after this win. And I think the world would be shocked here. I think everyone and their moms are on the Patriots this week. I think everyone is thinking the Patriots are the new hot toy in town. I think everyone is thinking Drake May is a new hot toy in town. Don't get me wrong. I think Drake May is going to be a really great quarterback. I think he's going to be really good. Listen, don't put a crown atop someone's head that doesn't deserve it yet. I like Mike Vrabel. Listen, as much as I was pissed Diggs what he did to the Bills last week and what he did to the Bills leaving, Diggs is still good. But listen, I actually think Brandon Staley is a pretty good DC, and I think he's gonna have some answers for Diggs. And I think he's gonna make Drake May and this running back core that they got try to beat them. Try to make Booty beat us. Try to make Demario Davis beat us. Try to make Hunter Henry beat us. And I don't think the Patriots will be able to beat the Saints because they're gonna have an answer for Diggs. And I got the Saints winning this game. I have Rattler winning. I have Kellen Moore getting his second win as the head coach in a job that no one would touch with a 10-foot pole. I like the Saints team. They're gritty. They play hard. They fight hard. And Spencer Rattler, watch out. I'm not saying they have a franchise quarterback of Spencer Rattler, but I think they have a good quarterback. And I think if they build around him, they're going to have a decent quarterback in Spencer Rattler for a couple of years. And I think the Saints are regretting taking Tyler Shaw in round number 2 because Rattler might be their guy for a little while. So, this is my big upset and honestly a quite honest pick. Last week, I was super confident in the Saints beating the Giants. I read it like a book. I feel the same way about this Pats game. I'm reading this like a book. I think the Saints beat the Patriots after the Patriots won the Super Bowl last week. And I think the Saints are fired up, ready to go. And I think people are sleeping on the Saints team. So give me the Saints plus 3.5 money line. Maybe even Spencer Rattler to get in the end zone. Moving on. This is another interesting game right here. Cowboys versus the Panthers. They're going into Carolina. Carolina just had a huge win in Carolina, down 17 to nothing. They found a way to come back and beat the Dolphins 17 to nothing. They ended up winning the game. The Cowboys, they've been hot. One of the best offenses in the league. Dak, been one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think a lot of people are going to be picking the Panthers here. I am not one of them. I think the Cowboys win this game. I think they win pretty convincingly. And I think Bryce Young has a bad day. With that being said, I think McMillan gets his first NFL touchdown of the year because that's all he needs because he's been great otherwise. And Rico Dowdle, this is a revenge game for Rico Dowdle. The Cowboys didn't want him. Dowdle's coming off a 200-yard plus game. So if they could somehow run the ball like they ran last week, if Dowdle can carry the ball like he did last week, then the Panthers will be in this game. I do think this is a high-scoring game. The over for this game is 49.5, quite a bit for an NFL game, but I think this game goes over. I think this is a shootout semi, and I think the Cowboys pull out late and win by 10 or more. So give me Dak, one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. Give me that offense, which is one of the best offenses in the league without CeeDee Lamb, which is it's crazy. Javonte Williams has been looking great. They got an interesting running back room. They have an interesting wide receiver room. George Pickens is a wide receiver 1. He's looked great with Dak. Dak looks fucking great. More people need to respect Dak, all right? I used to hate on Dak. Like, I thought it was fun. I thought it was necessary. I thought it was the only way you can read Dak as a QB. But no, that man is a fucking great quarterback right now, and he's cooking. He can work himself into the MVP combo, and I think the Dallas Cowboys moved to 3-2-1 after this game. And yes, it's going to be a little bit of shootout because Panthers do have some interesting weapons. McMillan, Leggett, who is not a good wide receiver despite him having a touchdown last week. Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard is back. So I just think Bryce Young is not good enough. I think despite this Dallas defense not being good, I think Bryce Young is not good enough to capitalize off of this, off of the weak tendencies that the Cowboys have. So McMillan scores, but Cowboys have their way on offense here. Give me the Cowboys. Listen, if the Cowboys are still the Cowboys, they're going to lose this game, but I'm having faith in the Cowboys this year. I think they find a way to win this game, and I think they pull away late, winning by 10 or more. Moving on. I'll do this quick because this is a no-brainer as well. The Colts, -7.5, I believe. The Colts are -7.5 in Indianapolis, playing the Cardinals without Kyler Murray, seemingly. Jacoby Brissett is going to be the starting quarterback for the Cardinals, like I predicted. By the way, does Kyler Murray have a concussion from a fucking football hitting his face? That's what it seems like. I don't know if that's what's under the injury report, but it looks like Kyler Murray might have a concussion from a snap straight to his face. And it looks like they evaluated him for a concussion after that snap took place. Nonetheless, Jacoby Brissett in the year 2025 is starting at quarterback for the Cardinals after Kyler Murray is seemingly injured. Give me the Colts. The Colts dominate in every which way. The Cardinals lost one of the most embarrassing games ever last week. Don't know how they overcome that. The Colts win this game. Jonathan Taylor has his way. Daniel Jones continues to have his way. The Colts find a way to win. And the Colts will win this game in whatever way they choose, whatever way they please. Colts, 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 Colts. Don't even think about it. Moving on. This is a tough game for me to pick here because I've been jagging off every game for the Jaguars this year. I'm pretty sure I've bet the Jags in every single game this year. I'm 4-1 because the Jags are a good team. They are 4-1 on the year. They are a fucking good team, and I like the Jags. However, this is an interesting game. The Seattle Seahawks are going into Jacksonville. Jags are coming off a huge win against the Chiefs. They found a way to win. They beat the Chiefs in a one-score game. And listen, the Seahawks are a weird team because I actually really like the Seahawks this year. I like their coach. I like their defense. I think they're going to be healthier on defense this week. And I like Sam Darnold, how he's been playing this year. I like Jackson Smith and Jigba. I like Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet, A.J. Bardner, Elijah Arroyo, like Torrey Horton, Cooper Kupp. This is a good team. And also, the Seahawks are a way better team on the road than they are at home, which is quite the contrary to what they were in recent memory. So I have to pick the side that makes the most sense statistically. I have to take the Seahawks away on the road because their record on the road is incredible year in, year out. And it's the opposite at home. They find ways to lose at home and they find ways to win on the road. And I think the Jags played in one of the biggest games of the year last week and they found a way to win. They're on a relatively short week, played Monday Night Football. And I think the Seahawks are the hungrier team. I think the Jags can afford to lose this game. And I think the Seahawks, they could afford to lose this game relatively, but I think the Seahawks are ready here. I think they find ways to win on the road, and they'll find a way to win this game. I think Trevor Lawrence turns the ball over once or twice, maybe even 3 times. I do think if the Seahawks, which were hurt defensively last week, if the injuries are still the same for this week, then the Jags have a better chance to win, obviously, but I like the Seahawks here. I like the firepower the Seahawks got on defense. And listen, I'm taking the Seahawks. I'm taking the Seahawks offense, defense. I like what they got there. Despite me liking the Jaguars more as a team going forward, I do like the Seahawks quite a bit here. Give me the Seahawks. They know how to win games on the road. They have a great record on the road, year in, year out recently. So give me the Seahawks. I think the Jaguars in a letdown spot after a huge win against the Chiefs on Monday night. Moving on. This 4 o'clock slate is weird, man. The first game of the 4 o'clock slate, Raiders versus the Titans. Holy, oh my God, Raiders versus the Titans. The Tennessee Titans are going into Las Vegas. The Titans win a game last week that they had no business winning. Um, I'm not even gonna explain the game because I talked about it on my TikTok and other platforms, but they did not deserve that win that game. Despite me liking some of the throws Cam Ward made last week, this Titans team is not a good Titans team, man. It's just not a good Titans team. Um, as much as I wanna pick the Titans, uh, I think a lot of people will be betting the Titans last week because they're like, oh, had a huge win. They won that game. They pulled it out their ass. Now they're gonna be fired up going to this week. The weapons are not good for the Titans. Cam Ward struggling despite him getting a win somehow last week, despite him making some big throws on that last drive to Ridley last week. I just have to take the Raiders here, man. I'm not betting this. I'm not touching this game with a 10-foot pole. Maybe if I'm having a great Sunday, I'm betting the Titans, but this is a dog or stay away from me. This is a dog or stay away from me. I think the Raiders ever so slightly have the better weapons. Geno Smith has been horrible. Um, and I actually think this Titans defense is not bad. I think this Titans defense is the best part of their team, the most consistent part of their team. I just don't trust that Titans offense. I really don't trust that Titans offense. I hate their weapons. I like Tony Pollard. I like Calvin Ridley. I like Cam Ward. That's about it on that offense. I like J.C. Latham as well, but give me the Raiders. Um, give me Pete Carroll over Brian Callahan. Give me Max Crosby. Give me Ashton Genty. Give me Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker. Give me Brock Bowers, Michael Meyer over the Titans. As much as that pains me to say, because I like what I saw from the Titans last week in a chaotic win, and I want to take the Titans with every part of my body, I'm not, because the Titans stink and they should be winless and they're not going to win this game. And I think the Raiders get back on track ever so slightly. The Raiders win this game, and I'm sorry to everyone betting the Titans, or I'm sorry to everyone betting this game in some sort of fashion. You are a sick fuck. Unless you're a fan of either of these teams, then go ahead. But this is a wild game and not in a good way. I honestly can't wait to watch this game. Like, I can't wait for Scott Hanson to go to this game randomly. And I'm hoping this game is chaotic and confusing and wild because that's the type of game this game should be. But I'm going the Raiders here. As much as I hate it, I might even lay the number come this Sunday. Or I might bet the Titans because I'm a dumb fuck. So anyway, I got the Raiders here. I think Ashton Genty probably scores. I think fucking Trey Tucker finds a way to score as well. That dude is just finds a way to score, and it's Geno Smith's favorite target. So Raiders find a way to win here. I'm not confident, and I wouldn't suggest touching or even watching this game. Moving on. Joe Flacco is the starting quarterback for Cincinnati Bengals, plus 14.5 going to Green Bay. This is going to be a relatively quick game for me here. The Packers should win this game any which way. They're at home. They're coming off a bye. The Bengals' offensive line stinks. Joe Flacco is a statue, and their D line is incredible. I think their defense is still a little bit overrated, secondary wise, but their D line is impeccable. Rashawn Gary, Micah Parsons, they're gonna sack Joe Flacco quite a bit. I could see Chase having a big day because Flacco's just gonna throw it up to him, and I'm assuming there's gonna be quite a bit of garbage time for the Bengals in this game. But Packers are coming off a bye. Bengals are heading into Green Bay. Packers should win this game easily in any way they want. So Packers minus 14.5 is what I'm leaning, especially in Green Bay. Moving on. This is a tough game. Tough game here. The 49ers, a team that is 4-1 somehow, is heading into Tampa Bay. They're heading into Tampa Bay. They're coming off a huge win against the Rams. They forced some great turnovers against the Rams, which is, the Rams have a great offense. And Tampa Bay coming off a huge and insane win yet again against the Seahawks. The Tampa Bay Bucks are at home. I picked the Bucks to make the Super Bowl this year. I did. They are 4-1. Um, this is my second week picking against them. I think there's something special going on in San Francisco right now. Kyle Shanahan is on a coaching heater. Mac Jones looks really, really good at quarterback. Christian McCaffrey looks healthy and fucking dominant. And that defense is so well coached by Robert Saleh. He's such a good DC. This is such a well coached team. Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings, Jake Tongs. I mean, this is a fucking good team, and they're pulling out wins somehow. I think the 49ers are working on 10 days rest. The Bucks are coming off an insane 38-35 victory. Um, this is an insane win. This is an insane win for the 49ers. I think the 49ers pull it off yet again somehow. I think the 49ers get it done somehow, and they're just finding ways to win. I think they found another way to win this game yet again this weekend. And I think the Bucks moved to 4-2, and I think the 49ers somehow moved to 5-1. This hurts my soul because I love the Tampa Bay Bucks. I really do, but 10 days rest, Kyle Shanahan, Mac Jones behind the center, taking snaps, looking good as he's looked. Give me Kyle Shanahan. Give me the 49ers going into Tampa Bay and finding a way to win. Man, the 49ers, man. There's something going on there, and I'm going to be part of it this weekend. 49ers win. Moving on. And also, I want to add to that, I think Baker Mayfield turns the ball over once or twice this week. Saleh's going to scheme something up, and they're going to turn the ball over. And I think Emeka Egbuka, who's been on fire, slows down this week. I don't think he has as good as a game as he's been having this week. Give me the 49ers to go into Tampa Bay and get a win. They squeak out a win here, and I love it. Moving on. Sunday Night Football. Kansas City coming off a loss. The Lions coming off a win against the Bengals. It's in Kansas City. Kansas City was an underdog twice this year at home. They're not this game. They're -2.5 against the Detroit Lions. This line makes no sense. It honestly makes no sense at all to the point where it might make sense. The Chiefs badly need this win. They are 2-5. No, they are 2-3. They could be 2-4 if they lose this game. The Lions are 4-1. They've been the hottest team in the NFL. They've been the best offense in the NFL. They've been the most consistent offense in the NFL. They have the most points through 5 games in franchise history, which is crazy considering the year they've had the past 2 years. This is a tough one. This is a tough game to predict, to break down, and I just don't see how the Chiefs win this game. Um, Obviously, I can see how they could, but their defense is not nearly as good as I thought it was, especially watching that Jaguars game last week. I know they forced a turnover with Trevor Lawrence twice, a fumble on the 1 yard line, and then a pick from McDuffie. Patrick Mahomes has never beaten Jared Goff. He's 0-2 against Jared Goff. I just think the Lions are just so stacked on offense. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, the offensive line, Jared Goff playing at an MVP level. Now this is the game where Jared Goff usually resorts back to being Jared Goff. Like, would it shock me if Jared Goff just completely lets down the Detroit Lions here and throws like 3 picks? No. But I think the Lions are really that fucking good on offense. And I think this Chiefs defense, despite being good and well coached, isn't nearly as good as you might think. The Chiefs offense looked back last week despite Pat throwing a pick 6. Tyquan Thornton, Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce look good. I mean, I think this Lions defense is underrated. I think this Lions defense is underrated. I know they let up a good amount of points to the Bengals last week, but I think this Lions defense is underrated. I like what this Lions defense has, and I think the Lions started looking towards the Chiefs a little too early against the Bengals last week. That's why that game might be closer than you would have imagined, but I like the Lions here quite a bit, and I'm shocked it's -2.5 Chiefs here, especially after they were underdogs twice this year in Kansas City. And they're 1-1 at home this year, I believe. Um, I like the Lions here, and I'm probably falling into a trap, but give me the Detroit Lions heading into Kansas City and getting a big win over the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Chiefs move to 2-4. The Lions move to 5-6. I think Jahmyr Gibbs has a day. I think Amon-Ra has a day. I think the Lions win this game, and I think their defense is a big part of it. I think the defense does a good job handling this Kansas City offense. I will say this, though. Terry Arnold is out for the Lions. I know a lot of people don't like Terry Arnold as a corner. I think he's a good corner. A lot of people don't. But with that being said, I still trust this Lions defense quite a bit. And listen, I'm probably falling into the trap here. I'm not uber confident as I was starting the week, but I like the Lions here as underdog plus 2.5 going into Kansas City. I think this game is a shootout. A shootout. Whoever has the ball last wins, and usually that means if Pat Mahomes has the ball last, he finds a way to win or at least tie. He had the ball last against the Jaguars, couldn't find a way. I know he was in a tough spot, and I know Hollywood Brown didn't fucking look at the ball, or they might have gotten to field goal range, but give me the Lions. It smells like a trap, it feels like a trap, and I'm jumping in the trap. Hopefully I don't die, so give me the Lions, plus 2.5, and as dogs. Now, there's a double header on Monday, and it features my favorite team, the Buffalo Bills versus the Falcons and the Commanders versus the Bears. Now I'm in a predicament because I release a video every Monday talking about Monday night's game and recapping Sunday's NFL slate, week 6, but this time I think I'm going to break down the Bills versus Falcons game here, and the Commanders versus Bears. So I'll start with the Commanders versus Bears. This is a tough one. The Bears are plus 4.5 heading into Washington. I believe that's the line. Yeah, the Bears are plus 4.5 heading into Washington. Last year, Commanders versus Bears, rookie versus rookie, ended in a Hail Mary. And the Commanders won that game on a Hail Mary in impossible fashion. And listen, the Bears are coming off a bye. The Commanders are coming off a big win against the Chargers. And I'll tell you what, I'm on the Bears here fully. I think the Bears get it done here. I like what I've been seeing from that offense. I like what I've been seeing from that defense. And listen, I know this is a team that got blown out in week 2, 52-21 against the Lions, but that's the Lions. And I think the Lions are great. Just feed me the Bears here, plus 4.5. They are pissed coming off a Hail Mary loss last year, against the Commanders. They have Ben Johnson at coach now, not Matt Eberflus, not that moron. And I think Johnson has been getting them ready for this week and for this game for 2 weeks now. They are the fresher team. They are the healthier team. I'm not even sure McLaurin plays this week. He might though, so don't count my words and take it as truth right now, but give me the Bears heading into Commander land, taking the plus 4.5, taking their money line. I think the Bears win outright here against the Commanders. And I think Caleb Williams wins this QB duel against Jaden Daniels. Give me DJ Moore. Give me Ben Johnson. Give me Roma Dunze. Give me Cole Kmet. Give me this new O-line at the Chicago Bears. Give me this new O-line that the Chicago Bears have. And just give me the Bears. The Bears. I think the Bears went out right here. And I think that is the underdog that wins Monday night. Moving on. Now, this is the fucked up part because I don't know if anyone feels this way. I get superstitious. And the last 3 games I picked, all the away teams were winning, I believe. I had the Lions, I had the 49ers, and now I had the Bears, and now I'm picking another away team. I'm picking the Buffalo Bills to beat the Atlanta Falcons, obviously. In Atlanta, the Bills are pissed after that Patriots loss. After thinking about that loss, I think the Bills left a lot out on that field. I think the first half is what lost that Bills that game. I think the Bills even scored like a touchdown in that first half. They win that game. Just uncharacteristic penalties, uncharacteristic play calling, too cute with the play calling, too conservative with the play calling, sporadic play from Josh at quarterback despite him having a good game. Maybe not to his standards, but to any other quarterback standards, he had a good game. I think the Bills win. And you know what? I do not think Raheem Morris is a good coach. I don't think Michael Penix is a good quarterback. Despite this Falcons team having a good defense, and despite this Falcons offense having some scary weapons and Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Darnell Mooney, I think the Bills are pissed. I think they're going to play with a stick up their ass, And I think Josh Allen has a great game this week. I think he has like 4 touchdowns this week. That's how fucking hyped this team is going to be going to this game. That game was a wake up call. And how do good teams react to wake up calls? They don't crumble in the wake up calls. They don't go out the week after and continue to crumble. I think the Bills win this game, and I think they win impressively. I think they possibly even blow out the Falcons. I'm gonna limit my words here because last week I predicted the Bills to blow out the Patriots, and we all know how that game ended up. But I do think Bijan, I do think Drake London, and I do think uh, Mooney and Kyle Pitts, and even Ray McLeod can cause problems for the Bills. But I do think, I just do think the Bills bounce back, they win big, and I think this is a high scoring game. And I think Michael Penix throws a pick or two. I just am not a Michael Penix believer at the moment. I think Michael Penix is not a good quarterback. And obviously, as you might know, as a football watcher, the Bills habitually do well against left-handed quarterbacks. So Buffalo Bills win. I'll have more thoughts about this game closer to the game time. Um, but like I'll release videos about this game on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts, and I'll talk about who I think is going to score and whatever. Like I think Keon Coleman's been a big part of the news this week in Buffalo. I think the team was mad at him. I think Josh Allen and McDermott were disappointed with him because they had to bench him for the first drive of the game last week, and he had a fumble as well as being benched in the first drive of the week last week. So I think Keon finds the end zone again because he found it last week late. I think he finds it again. And despite this Falcons defense being interesting and being good, I think we fuck up that defense. And listen, Bijan Robinson is a great running back, and that offensive line blocks well for him. But honestly, they play calling in Atlanta is not consistent and coherent enough to be afraid of that offense. I think they're poorly coached, and I think despite Bijan Robinson being a dominant weapon, he's not going to be dominant this week. And I think that's due to the play calling, not to his ability. I think Josh Allen has a big day. I think James Cook has a way better game than he did last week. Um, yeah, I think the boys feast this week because I think they're angry. And honestly, give me the quarterbacks here and the head coaching duo. Give me McDermott and Josh Allen over Raheem Morris and Michael Penix any day of the week. So I'll say this: if the Bills lose this game, I'm not pressing the alarm button, but holy shit, I will be angry and I will be vengeful. And I might even have to release a full YouTube video talking about it. And I don't like that. I don't love that. But I might if we lose that game because I will be angered. I will be furious. And listen, I think one of the Monday night's games is going to be a blowout. I think the other game is going to be a close one. I think the Commanders and Bears are going to be a close one, a fun one. And I think the Falcons and Bills will be a fun one for a little bit. Then I think the Bills will pull away and blow out the Falcons. So give me the Buffalo Bills here. Yes, I am worried about the Bills defense a little bit. Yes, I am concerned ever so slightly with the offense, especially with the weapons we have in our wide receiver core. But listen, I think Josh Palmer has to get the ball this week. His charts and graphs, like apparently this guy gets separation, and Josh is not finding the ball. I don't know if that's a scheme related. I don't know if that's just Josh Allen and Palmer related, and no chemistry there yet. But I think Josh Palmer has a big game this week, and I think Josh Allen has a big game this week. I think Josh Allen plays fired up after losses, and I think this Buffalo Bills team bounces back after losses really well. So give me the Bills here. Yes, I'll be worried heading into this game because we're coming off a loss, but ultimately I'm confident we beat the Atlanta Falcons. If we don't, I will be so angry and I will be distraught. But luckily, I think we win, and I think we win convincingly. So that is it. That is my Week 6 breakdown and predictions of the games this week, and I'll give you a quick rundown of all my picks so you guys know. I got the Broncos -7 against the Jets. I have the Saints winning outright. I'm taking both their spread and their money line. I got the Cowboys winning this game convincingly, pulling away at the end. I think McMillan scores a touchdown for the first time this week, and I think George Pickens probably scores as well. I have the Chargers started 3-0, now they're 3-2. I have them winning against the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are dead, especially after blowing a 17-0 lead to the Carolina Panthers last week. Give me the Chargers here. I have the Steelers reluctantly coming off a bye, facing a team who's just in London, Mike Tomlin versus a rookie quarterback. Give me Mike Tomlin. Give me Aaron Rodgers over Dylan Gabriel and Kevin Stefanski. I have the Steelers here -5.5. Rams versus Ravens. I think the Rams handle and have their way with the Ravens. The Ravens might be dead. Give me the Rams. I have the Seahawks versus the Jaguars. I've been jagging off this entire year, but I have the Seahawks. I like what they do on the road. I think Jackson Smith the Jigba scores, and I think Brian Thomas Jr. might even score as well. Arizona Cardinals versus the Colts in Indianapolis. Give me the Colts. Jacoby Brissett is starting at quarterback in the year 2025. As much as I hate this pick, I have the Raiders -4.5. I'm not betting this game. I'm not touching it, but I will be betting Ashton Gentry to score because he's on one of my fantasy teams. Packers versus the Bengals in Green Bay. Packers -14.5. That's easy to me. I could see Jamar Chase scoring, but Romeo Dobbs probably finds himself in the end zone, and probably Josh Jacobs as well, because the Packers are going to win this game in any which way. I also could see a Packers defensive touchdown as well. A game I'm a game where I'm picking against the Tampa Bay Bucks again, a team that I have in the Super Bowl, Tampa Bay Bucks. I'm picking the 49ers here. I just love the vibes of the 49ers right now. They're the best coach team in the NFL right now. I think the 49ers win this game. Give me the 49ers as underdogs outright heading into Tampa Bay. Um, CMC finds a way to score again. Maybe even Jake Tongs or Tonges, or however you say his name. This guy is just a magnet for Mac Jones. And then another non-confident pick and another away team. I have the Detroit Lions heading into Kansas City and beating the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not confident in it. I think this is going to be a shootout. The over is 52.5. Take the over 52.5. Both of these offenses are great. I have the Bears winning outright in Washington against the Commanders. They are revengeful, and they redeemed that loss they had last year, which was a miracle. And then I have the Bills coming back to the real world that they live in and beating the Atlanta Falcons. If they beat the Atlanta Falcons, I will be happy, but I will even be more happy if the defense shows up, because I do think our defensive line is great and they had a great game. And honestly, I don't think that game last week was on the defense. I think it was more on the offense. I think the offense bounced back, and I think the defensive line of this team continues to show out. So give me the Bills here. I think Josh Palmer finally finds the end zone. I think Josh Allen and James Cook find the end zone as well. So those are all my picks for week 6. It is your boy Matt Talk Sports. Follow me everywhere at Matt Talk Sports for more content like this. And you know what? Follow me at Matt Talks Films as well, because I have a lot of content there if you love film. So listen, follow me everywhere. Subscribe, like, and comment if you made it this far. Subscribe to this channel, man. I mean, it means a lot to me if you do. So Matt Talk Sports. Follow me everywhere at Matt Talk Sports. And guess what? I'll see you there, and I'll see you Monday for my full recap of week 6. I'll see you guys there.